Hello. I got up this morning, completely forgot about Shakespeare. And so there's a little bit of lull in activity in the house right now. So I think I will try to do the I's, the phrases that begin with the letter I from Brush Up Your Shakespeare by Michael Macron. And there aren't very many of them, and none of them, one of them is one that maybe I've heard. I guess I've heard them, but I don't use them, or they're not that familiar to me. Anyway, the first one is an improbable fiction. And this is from Twelfth Night, and you have Maria and Malvolio and Sir Toby and Fabian all talking in this. This is Act 3, Scene 4. Maria, get him to say his prayers, good Sir Toby. Get him to pray. Malvolio, my prayers, minx? Maria, no, I warrant you, he will not hear of godliness. Malvolio, go hang yourselves all. You are idle, shallow things. I am not of your element. You shall know more hereafter. Exit. Sir Toby, is it possible? Fabian, if this were played upon a stage now, I could condemn it as an improbable fiction. So, and the phrase, of course, is an improbable fiction. And what does that mean? So the author here, Michael Macron, says that he explains what's going on in the scene, but the reason an improbable fiction is to be condemned has mostly to do with the critical dogma of the age inherited from Aristotle. Probability, the sense that what goes on stage could actually be taking place in real life, was supposed to be the sine qua non, I should know that from Latin, of comic drama. Fabian, Shakespeare, and everyone in the audience, however, know that Malvolio's improbable gullibility makes for satisfying entertainment. Aristotle or no Aristotle. So I get what he's saying, but it seems to me comedies are not like that. They're not like tragedies or histories, right? You often have absurd things happen, or some sort of a not very strong device, that things turn on. So I don't know. I don't know if that would apply in a comedy, but anyway, so an improbable fiction is something that you're not supposed to have on the stage. And that made me think of that phrase, that it's a play or drama should be a mirror held up to nature, that they wanted realism. So anyway, the next phrase is her infinite variety. This is from Antony and Cleopatra. And it's let's see, what's his name? Maecenas and Enobarvos. I've never read this play. Are talking. And Maecenas says, now Antony must leave her utterly. Enobarvos, never, he will not. Age cannot wither her, nor can custom stale her infinite variety. Other women cloy the appetites they feed, but she makes hungry where most she satisfies. So he goes on about what is meant by her infinite variety. In other words, she never gets boring. Cleopatra never gets, that's what it seemed to me right off. But he goes into how, he goes into the whole sexual innuendo of it and that sort of thing, which I'm not going to bother to read. I just thought, from the surface, it means that she's interesting, that she doesn't get old, she doesn't get stale, right? Unlike other women. So, and then he says that variety, allegedly a hallmark of the female nature, was often feared and derided. Women's changefulness threatened wooers and husbands alike. In Cleopatra, however, variety becomes a species of excitement, a power to hold on to a lover by keeping love fresh. So, all right, and then the next one is infirm of purpose. I found this interesting. This is from Macbeth. Lady Macbeth, why did you bring these daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go carry them, and smear the sleepy grooms with blood. Macbeth, I'll go no more. I'm afraid to think what I have done. Look on it again I dare not. Lady Macbeth, infirm of purpose, Give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. So what does she mean by infirm of purpose when she says it to Macbeth? So Macbeth's just killed Duncan, and he's come back, and he brought the bloody daggers with him. And she's saying, why are you bringing the evidence in here? Go plant them on the guards so that people will think they did it. And Macbeth is too freaked out from just having murdered Duncan, so he says, I can't do it. And she says, infirm of purpose. So, that just sounds so strange, infirm of purpose, because we think of it as being sick, right? Like, I don't think they call it this anymore, but when I was going to college, you went to the infirmary. I think it's sort of almost like a military term for a clinic that you would go to. So I think of that as being sick, but what he really meant was unsteady. The opposite of firm is infirm. So infirm of purpose, she's saying, you're losing your mojo. We're in this thing, and you gotta carry through. You gotta persevere and carry through. And then she takes over. So I thought that was interesting. And he is the one that invented the term infirm. Can you hear that? They're out in my yard, leaf blowing or something. We don't need it. Anyway, leaf blowers really bother me because every day when I want to go sit out on my porch, there's always a leaf blower going. Anyway, so the last one is an itching palm, and this is from Julius Caesar, and it's Cassius and Brutus are talking. Cassius says, in such a time as this, it is not meet that every offense should bear his comment. Brutus, let me tell you, Cassius, you yourself are much condemned to have an itching palm, to sell and march your offices for gold to undeservers. Cassius, I, an itching palm? And so what does he mean by itching palm? And I do use, like, his palm's itchy, wants money, right? I have used that phrase. So it's got an itching palm must be scratched with coins, is what Macron says. And it's like a reflex, so it's not even something thoughtful. It's just a compulsion. And so people have been saying that about Cassius, that he where does it say it? That he let's see. But Brutus is too angry. He thinks Cassius deliberately withheld necessary finances from him to let the matter rest. So anyway, so that's a short one. It's just the I phrases. We'll be on to the K phrases, a king of infinite space. I don't know that one. Knock, knock, who's there? That's a good one. There's only 2 Ks, and then it goes on to the lady doth protest too much. That I use a lot. So anyway, so that is my edition of Shakespeare Saturday, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.